What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for Sisters Season 2, Episode 18. So listen, y'all. We had a couple of good weeks, but this episode, let's talk about it. So we start off with Karen walking in on Andy and Gary, and she is not happy about it, and she is giving Andy the blues. She puts Gary out. She sees the ring. She tries to flush the ring down the sink, and she is like, Andy, what is really going on? Like, how could you do this? You know this man ain't no good. He did this, he did that, he did this to you, he did that to you. How could you even be talking to him, much less considering marrying him? Well, first of all, she was pissed off because Andy lied to her. She knew Andy was lying when Andy sat there talking about she didn't want to go for a drink. She just want to go home and relax. She knew it was a lie. That's why she popped up over Andy's apartment. So she mad about that, talking about so we lying to each other now. Now, Andy threw some stuff back at Karen, and Andy was like, listen, all them things that you went through with Zach and you kept taking him back. I mean, all the women, the money, him not having no money and all of that. And you stuck with him. And listen, I don't know how she felt about it because the show started with her breaking up with Zach. So I don't know the back and forth. But the way she made it seem like was like, girl, I was with you and I had your back. And every time we would go through this and you would end up right back with Zach. And what did I do? I was your ride or die. I was there with you. All I'm asking is for, let me go through it. Let me deal with it. Let me work through it. I still love him. I want to be married. I want to marry him. She was like, let me show you his divorce papers. He done gave me the number to his counselor. He is trying. He is trying to work this out. He is trying to be a better man for me. I just need you to have my back, girl. I just need you to have my back. And Karen was like, that's not going to happen. And I'm going to take my ass home. So on her way home, Aaron calls her. And they get back to the apartment. And, Aaron and Gary have a relationship. And Aaron was like, listen, all I'm going to say is this. First of all, that's Andy's business. Andy just needs you to be a friend. Andy just needs you to have her back. Andy just needs you to support her. Okay? What Andy doesn't need is the judgment. Gary is trying. That's all I can tell you is that Gary is trying. Maybe you just need to... And he kind of threw Zach in her face too. I still think he the one that set Zach up with that credit card. I know y'all think it's the lawyer, but I don't think it's the lawyer, and I'm going to tell you why when we get to that part. But I still think it's Aaron. But that's just me, y'all. That's just me. Some other people think that it's the boyfriend that we saw at the salon, her assistant's boyfriend. It could be. That would be a whole nother thing because you're bringing in a character that we don't know nothing about, but that don't mean it can't happen. It is Tyler Perry, child. It is Tyler Perry. So, I just feel like he kind of got through to Karen a little bit and got Karen to understand that right now Andy just needs a friend. She know what that man did to her. I don't know why she still wanted to be with him, but listen, I can't tell her. And that's what he's trying to get Karen to understand. So I feel like Karen heard him a little bit. And then they ran into the bedroom. Did they have sex? Is he not celibate no more? What they run into the bedroom for to do what? Look at each other? Did I miss something? Because I looked up and they was running into the bedroom. And I was like, what they about to do? They ain't about to have sex. Are they? To me, that would have been a more interesting scene. But okay. Then we have Sabrina and this dude from the job. Listen, y'all. I don't like this scenario. The whole time, I thought this man was going to rape that woman. I ain't lying. I know, sometimes Tyler Perry can go left with stuff. And that's all I was thinking. So they at the bar having a drink. And this man keeps pressuring her to drink more. She's like, nah, I'm good. Oh, I don't want to drink alone. Come on and have a drink with me. And he pressures her to have a drink. Then she's like, no, I'm going home. He was like, oh, well, can I come back to your house with you? And she was like, no, you can't come back to my house. He was like, come on. And he pressures her. Now, granted, she could have said no and she could have stuck to her guns, but she let that man come back talking about something. All right, fine. We're going to have one drink and then you going home. My thing is, then he didn't need to come to your house. Then you could have had that one more drink at the bar, took you an Uber if you was worried about drinking and driving, and went on about your business. First of all, listen. Hold on. Can we have a whole conversation right now about sexual harassment? Because technically, Sabrina is that man's boss. Okay? You out here having drinks and fraternizing. That man ain't even out of training. He only been working there 3-4 days. In Tyler Perry world, you know stuff just be 24 hours, okay? So he only been working there for 2 days. He's still on his probation. Don't jobs still have that? Jobs still have a probation period, don't they? When you on probation, you, like, if that had been a man that had been out and having drinks with his subordinate, child had been fired. Sabrina then had a whole drink and then invited the man back to her apartment. Listen, and that's all I kept thinking. I was like, first of all, either this man gonna have her caught up and he gonna try to rape her, or he gonna try to throw this and hold this over her head back at the job. But whatever. So she lets him come back to the apartment, and then he's pressuring her to keep drinking. Oh, come on, just have one more drink with me. Come on, take a shot with me. Come on, do this. And he is, being very sexual and making all these innuendos. I ain't lying. It made me very uncomfortable, y'all. I got to the point where I really fast forwarded through a lot of it, because I was like, please, Lord. I really, really thought that's what was getting ready to happen. And so I was like, I just got to fast forward through all of this. So if anything deep, was said in that conversation other than, come on, girl, let me kiss you. Come on, let me kiss you. Come on, let me kiss you. Because that's where I started fast forwarding, when he was pressuring her ass for a kiss. Anyway, then he, she said he was going to call the Uber. She didn't believe whether he was going to call the Uber or not. My thing is, I don't care. As long as he get out of my apartment, I don't care who he called. He can call Tyrone for all I care. He a grown-ass man. Just get up out my apartment. But he did eventually leave, child, because I ain't lying. That whole scene, y'all put it in the comments. That whole scene made me very uncomfortable, and I'm not even playing. I didn't like it, because I really thought it was going to go in a different direction, but it didn't. He left. All right. So then, Danny, Preston, and his sister. I didn't like this scene either, because I feel like we got the old Danny. Danny was upset because Preston had his sister at the apartment. Now, you didn't invite this man to come stay with you. You knew his sister was in town because she came by the airport and you told her where to find him. Why you mad that she there for dinner? You already know that she not one of the racists, okay? Because he told you that when y'all had the whole conversation about the gal thing and about him tying you up. He told you his family was racist, everybody except for his sister. So I get it that his brothers came down to the job and they talked to you crazy and they treated you crazy and they beat him up, and I understand that now you giving the side eye to everybody. I get it. But please again, that whole scene, I was pissed off at Danny. I was like, Danny, you doing too much once again. And I didn't like it because I got the old Danny back. She sat there drinking wine out the bottle. She being rude to his sister. She disrespected him. And then finally the sister was leaving and she was like, you need to talk to her. Like, I understand why she's upset. You need to go ahead and talk to her. And then she gonna put the man out, tell him to leave. And he was like, Danny, what is wrong with you? Like, I really need you to tell me what is wrong with you. And she did open up enough to say, when I said leave, I don't mean like leave forever, really permanently. I'm saying I just need some time. Like, I really need to process this. It's been a lot. I get it. I do. I definitely get it. But you was just doing the most in this moment. And you was just rude for no damn reason. Now, when it was all over said and done, the man came back and they made up. And Danny, once again, went back to being vulnerable. And she opened up to him. And she let him know how she felt and why this whole situation is just so hard for her. But the majority of that episode, it really pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie. It just really pissed me off. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay. Then we have Fatima. Fatima done called the lawyer to her apartment, and she pouring wine and all, getting him all comfortable and everything. And then she says, yeah, Zach's in jail. And he was like, oh, damn. And she was like, you don't want to know why? He was like, no, I don't. She said, well, why don't you? She said, that's interesting. You don't want to know why? He was like, why? I don't care about him. I don't know him. I don't care about him. I mean, I know he a fuck up, so why would I be surprised that he's in jail? So then she was like, You ain't surprised that he's in jail because you set him up. My neighbors got the tape, and we got it on tape that, you your side kicked and put the kilo into the truck. And so you need to get on the phone and you need to call whoever it is that you need to call and get him out of jail tonight. Or I'm going to your bosses in the morning and I'm blowing this whole thing up. And I was just like, if you have the tape, I wouldn't even be dealing with him. Because, well, I don't know. Then she gets up and leaves. She calls him. She tells him he ain't shit. The sex won't good. She don't know why she ever tried to give him a chance. Now, once again, Tyler Perry, I got to remind you that when you first introduced us to these characters, they knew each other. They were friends. They mamas was friends. They known each other. They go to church together. Now, all of a sudden, he was just a one-night stand and she regrets it. That ain't how you brought them on the show. That ain't the relationship you brought on the show with them. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to need y'all to keep a storyboard or something, and y'all can keep up with this, okay? Because it can be, I know it sounds petty, y'all, but it's not. It's not. You didn't change this whole relationship around. Neither here nor there. Later on that night, Zach come knocking on the door. Now, she done left. Now, she done called the man all kinds of I don't know what happened. She done called him all kinds of ain't shit dudes and told him he want this and he want that and he was this. Called him all kinds of names and then said, now you go handle it and get out of my apartment. And she gets up and walks off and leaves him sitting in the middle of her living room. Do you know he could have done anything? I mean, he could have had a weapon and pulled out a weapon. He could have went in your kitchen and got a knife. He could have destroyed your living room and broke every damn thing. Because let's be clear, the stuff that she said to him was out of pocket. I mean, she went low. She went low. I ain't saying she was right or she was wrong. I'm just saying she went there. Okay? But later on that night, Zach shows up at her apartment, you know. He says, I don't know what happened. They just told me I was free to go and that, you know, the charges was dropped or whatever. And she was like, okay, good. And he was like, you did this? And she was like, listen, you know, this is what happened. And she broke it down for him. And he was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I told you to stay out of it. That's why I told you to leave this alone. That's why I told you to stay out of it. And she was like, listen, he's not going to come back. And he was like, people like him don't stop. Like, don't be fooled into thinking that it's over, because it's not. And she was like, listen, don't worry about it. I got the goods on him. If he come for you, I got something for him. He's not going to come for you. He's good. So, they end up being good. He invites her into the shower again, and she was like, because I already had to get this hookup from a friend of a friend. So, you know, they still playing that game. I guess at some point we're going to find out that they, you know, who is who and what's what, child. Now, down to the gay bar, Maurice done went down to the bar, and he sees the bartender that they call him, you know, the butt eater. And he's like, why did you lie on Calvin? He was like, I didn't lie on Calvin. I did see him, you know, doing crystal meth. And he was like, not this Calvin. No, he didn't. He was like, I know what I saw. And then the other bartender was like, why are you lying on him? You know, Calvin doesn't do drugs. And he was like, whatever, I saw what I saw. Now, at the end of the day, the man has a clean drug test. So either you're going to tell the man, listen, whatever you thought you saw is not what you saw because he has a clean drug test, or you're going to leave it alone. He got a clean drug test. Now, why he lied on Calvin or what he saw or didn't see, I don't know. Then we find out that Calvin had been in the bar earlier that night with a man. And Maurice was like, wait a minute, Calvin told me he had a date with a woman. And they was like, okay, well, I don't know what he told you, but he was up in here tonight with a man. And Maurice was just like, what? You know, and this was all very Maurice, you know, he calling people a bunch of bitches and being rude and all that good stuff. So he ends up leaving, and he ends up going back to his apartment, and somebody is in Calvin's room having sex, okay? And it's a whole lot of oohing and ahhing, and a whole lot of dipping and a dodging, and then a guy comes out and talks about, yeah, your boy in there, you know, ooh, he's something else. I mean, I'm about to go in for round 4. And so we never see Calvin. We see the dude, and we heard the oohs and the ahs, and it's clear that somebody was in there having sex with somebody else, but we never see Calvin. Now, I don't know where we're going with this storyline. I don't know if it really was Calvin. I don't know what the dealio is, okay? But we're going to see where we're going with that situation. I don't know where that's going, y'all. Because we done spent all last season, y'all trying to convince us that this was a heterosexual man. Now we're going to make him what? Bisexual? Child? Whatever. Anyway, I don't know. We playing games. That was pretty much the episode. I don't know. I'll see where this whole thing go next week. But that was pretty much it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.